Welcome to another episode of Chiva Talk Shows. Big shout out to Archie and crew behind the lens. Today I have a special guest, trust me, special guest. She's the founder and director of Mondoro Dreams. She's also a lecturer at the Department of Creative Media and Communication at the University of Zimbabwe. She also specializes in music, movies, storytelling. Again, she also runs the Nyamatsatse Festival. Miss Klara.
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be here.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Introduce myself, but you've introduced me so well.
In detail.
In detail.
Yeah, we really want to know who is really Klara is.
Who Klara is. But you said it so well. I'm a musician. I'm a musician. I'm a storyteller. I do theater. I do film. Now, I'm a, what can I say? Yeah, I'm a writer. I look for the deep and beautiful things and I try to bring them out. And I'm also, I'm the director of Mondoro Dreams Productions, which has been building a cultural, artistic, spiritual bridge between Poland and Zimbabwe for some years, pretty much since 2017, 2018.
We are originally from Poland.
I'm originally from Poland.
Okay.
Kumusha kwangu.
Okay, can you tell us more about Mondoro Dreams?
Yes, so I said 2017, 2018, but that's not when Mondoro Dreams started. That was when 2017, Ndagatama ku Zimbabwe. I got the idea to move here. That was I was inspired to move here.
You came here in Zimbabwe in 2017?
2017, I was inspired to move to Zimbabwe. To say, I'm coming, I'm moving, I'm staying, and you know that Kugara ku Zimbabwe. And then to build that bridge that I was talking about. Somehow, even though I think the project of bridge building comes naturally when you're an intercultural and international person. So just by being around, I bridge because I'm from a lot of cultures, I'm from a lot of places, I've lived in many places, I've done a lot of things. That's just the way my life has gone. So I carry a lot of vision of the big picture, of connectedness, intercultural connectedness. And so then I think it was 2019, the idea of Mondoro Dreams Productions as an actual production company, that's when it came up. Mondoro Dreams being, of course, a reference to the Mondoro as the ancestors, the Mondoro as the Shumbas, the Mondoro as also the vision keepers, the ones who knew the visions that protected not only people, but the land and the animals and the plants and all of those things. And so that was the vision,
So I can say when you came to Zimbabwe, you studied history to know about Mondoro.
Yes.
Like you said, Mondoro and the ancestors, you did history in Zimbabwe.
I mean, it's obvious.
Obvious.
It's obvious. It's not a secret, is it?
Okay, so in Mondoro Dreams, you specialize in storytelling, right? Mm-hmm. What kind of stories do you specialize in particular?
That's a good question. So, because when we talk about storytelling these days, maybe people think, you have storytelling, the word in English, it sounds boring. I don't know about you, but when I hear that somebody's doing storytelling, I don't really feel like going.
Okay.
However, how else do you describe the nature of using various media in order to tell a story so that you're not locked in a certain kind of form? You can do it through theater, you can do it through film, you can do it through music, you can do it through documentary, which is what I'm working on right now with the Nyamatsatse Festival, or just the Nyamatsatse Festival is also a form of storytelling. So for me, myth is the most interesting thing, and the stories that we are told by by the Mondoro, by the ancient spirits that are not human, by ancestors, by the earth, by the history of humanity. And those stories that come up, they come up all of the time. They are constantly trying to remind us of the truth of themselves, because that is how we stay human. And also they're big stories, because it used to be that the storyteller could tell a story for 12 hours, an epic, you know, and people would listen, or the story would go over days, be 7 days of story, the same storyteller all night long.
Yeah,
or you have the story of Scheherazade, you know, who was telling stories for 1001 nights. So for me, it's epic stories that grab my attention. Yeah.
Okay, I know you play violin very well.
Yes.
So you are into music again.
Yes.
What about in Zimbabwe? Recently, I've seen you at HICC, where the big giants, Japris, Wingiti, were playing at all. You were part of the team.
Yes.
So how do you feel being part of those big giants in Zimbabwe?
It was a huge honor.
A huge honor.
It was a huge honor.
I
It was
understand.
a huge honor to have your sound be chosen to be part of
the
that
event.
kind of event, and also of the premier Zimbabwean sound. I was very honored. I was very honored.
Okay, in the case of movies,
Yes.
you also do movies, right?
Yes.
You act, you produce. What do you do exactly?
Yeah, so I know that these days some people have theories. They say you can't do everything.
Yeah.
But that's not true. If you have a vision and you need to do certain things a certain way, and you don't know other people who will do those things that way, then you do what you need to do it. So for example, for the movie Nzara, which is where my movie career started, and Nzara was quite epic in Poland. It was the first Polish Zimbabwean production, and it was shown at Poland's most prestigious film festival, which was it was groundbreaking for Polish film, because Polish film is usually not interested in, it's only now starting to get interested in Africa, you know, because Poland historically has very little to do with this continent, in terms of recent human history, I should say. So with Nzara, you know, I was acting in it, I did the music, there were other musicians, but the music, the composing and the planning of the music, that was me, and then performing it as well. I directed it, and then I guess you could say I produced it, but I'm not really sure what a producer does, to be honest.
Okay, but you are the one who came up with the idea, right?
I came up with the idea. I got the grant for the funding. Yeah, so I organized it. If that's what a producer does, then yes,
Yeah.
I produced it.
So it's a Nzara song, a Nzara movie.
Yes.
Then we have Nzara songs. Do we have any Nzara songs
Do we have any Nzara songs? That's a good.
you produced?
We should have Nzara songs, because the music in the movie is actually quite nice. So we have some songs from the movie.
From the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I really understand that Japri is the one who shared stage with. He plays Mbira very well.
Uh-huh.
Are you guys planning to work on something?
With Mbira.
Yeah.
You know, when we did Chikomo, that was something he mentioned. He wanted to do a Mbira and violin track then.
Okay.
I don't know about now, because I think there was pre-corona and then there was post-corona.
okay.
So we will see. Yeah, Tijaona.
But I think you should do something.
You
JP.
think so?
Yeah.
So I would agree.
Yeah.
Ndijo.
Yeah, I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah?
You can make it.
Okay.
Because you play your violin extraordinary. I can say that.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate people who appreciate the violin.
Okay, at some point I've seen you with Clive Mono
Uh-huh.
and Kelvin Chikumbirike,
Yes.
and you did ancient songs such as you did what Chamtengure,
Shintengura.
and there's one Varimudandi.
Yeah.
Are you working with these professionals? Because we know Clive Mono is a music teacher.
Yeah.
Are you guys working together?
Well, he produced my first album.
Oh,
or I did my first album through the studio. So, and he's on that album as well. And yeah, we do these jam sessions. So we are working on this series of traditional songs, in a violin and the modern doings of traditional songs, you could say.
okay. So you have some tracks for on. How many tracks do you have? Do you
Of
have
my
any
own.
albums? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have one album, Bangiza. It has, I think, 21 tracks.
21 tracks.
Yeah, it's
What's
in
the
two
title name
parts.
of the album?
Bangiza 1+2.
Bangiza 1+2.
Yeah.
I would like to listen to that album.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. We'll check that recording. But it's on what is it? Spotify and those kinds of places. But we'll check my links.
Okay. I understand that you wanna travel to the seat of kings and queens. Kundudu siyatina Kobulawayo to research more history about Zimbabwe. That's the Nyamatsatsi Festival, right? Is it about the Nyamatsatsi Festival?
Weekend yoyo.
Yeah.
Ndakaenda kuridza na Janet Manyowa.
Okay.
And also ndakasangana na Patisa Nyati, and I was doing research. I'm always doing research. I guess I'm always learning. Every day I learn.
Okay. So tell us more about Nyamatsatsi Festival.
So the Nyamatsatsi Festival is a festival of reconnecting with the stars and putting together the broken pieces of the human spirit. So the idea is that there is a myth, and it's found all over the world, about the human spirit being broken into pieces. And then those pieces are gathered by the magical woman who comes from the stars and who puts the pieces of the broken human spirit and then sings them back to life because she loves him and all those kinds of things. So the idea is that we're doing a 7-day festival that is connecting traditional cultures from Zimbabwe, from Africa, from the Slavic regions, from the Americas, and also creating something new out of that will connect us again as humanity, because over the years we've become so used to a narrative of separation, whether it's Corona that separates us, whether it's this idea that nationalism separates us, politics separates us, gender separates us,
Of course.
race separates us, all these things of, no, we're so different. But from the perspective of the stars, we are all human.
We are one.
We are
Yes.
one. And there's wisdom in that, and there's power in that. And when we actually come together and actually feel that way about ourselves again, and we are able to see that again, we can create a new story and also learn our true origins. Because I do think that the myths tell us, especially here in Zimbabwe, the myths tell us that the history of humanity is not the way we are told. This history, this idea that the pinnacle of civilization came with Western technology. It's a lie.
Okay.
There were technologies here that were far more powerful than what we know now. And we have the evidence with a place like Great Zimbabwe, with a place especially like the Egyptian pyramids. So if that technology was here, there were people here who were doing those things, and then something happened, those things were lost, they were forgotten, but they are still here, there's still that story that the ancestors have left for us to see. So we need to question the entire narrative of history as we are told, because also that narrative makes most of us feel really bad. How good do we feel with this idea that cell phones and computers are, and I don't know, McDonald's and Coca-Cola are the best that humanity has come up with, Where is the human spirit and the human heart? What are we really capable of as people?
Yeah.
The good, I should say.
Okay, so in simpler terms, what's the main objective of Nyamatsatsi Festival?
To reconnect with the human spirit and to reconnect with the stars.
So it's all about connection,
It's all about connection.
spiritual making,
Sorry?
spiritual mechanic.
Spiritual mechanics, spiritual connection, reconnection, revival, rebirth, hope. Nyamatsatsi is the star that heralds the dawn, right? It comes right before the sun rises. So
Okay.
it's like the messenger of the sun saying, now the day begins. What is the new day that is beginning?
Okay, thank you for elaborating that one. So I just want to ask you about Clara. I understand you have a Sinatra permit.
I do, yes.
You do. So tell us more about Sinatra. You maybe someone would wonder why what person would have
A Zinata permit.
Zinata
why
permit.
why you would go that route.
maybe it's something we don't think that could be normal.
That would be normal, yeah. No, that's a good question. I've done a lot of, I've trained a lot in a
Yeah.
lot of healing practices, including in Zimbabwe. I'm a ceremonialist mainly, ceremonialist, ritualist, whatever you want to call me. Every healer has areas of expertise, and and generally healers, from a traditional perspective, you don't advertise yourself as a healer.
Yeah.
You don't have to, because that's not the way the spirit works, and so on and so forth. But times are different now. And what happened with the Zinata permit was I saw, one of the things I see in Zimbabwe is I see there's a lot of low national self-esteem.
Okay.
Like maybe Zimbabweans feel worse about themselves and their culture, but they don't see that from an international perspective there are things here that are amazing. And one of those things is the fact that plant medicine is appreciated and accepted and legal and supported, and that there is an institution like Zinata that protects traditional healers.
Yes.
Whereas if you go to a place like the United States and you try to use plants to heal, you are arrested.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Certain countries in Europe, it's illegal. But in the US, they will actually send police officers they will actually put you in prison. They will lock you up for eating plants, for using plants to heal your body. And then for saying things like well, an ancestor came to me or whatever, they'll lock you up. That's the reaction of the so-called most advanced country on earth. And so I got a Zinata license in solidarity, in support of a very wise institution, to say that I support this and I'm really honored to be part of something that protects healers, because every place needs its healers,
Okay.
So that was my
Yeah, I understand. So you use traditional herbs.
yeah. I'm a plant person.
Do you really know these things, Clara? Do you know Tsangamidzi? It's quite difficult to understand this Makwenzi thing,
Okay, what
But
are
I'm
you,
glad
what are you
you know
asking?
these,
What are
these
you
things,
asking?
because for one to become a traditional healer, maybe to get a permit from Sinatra, I think there's certain things they consider, and you came up with these things and they give you the permit, which means you do a lot of things, and we appreciate that for someone like you,
So
our country.
I appreciate. I'm very honored that they considered me
That way.
that they understood.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does take spiritual eyes to see a spiritual journey, and that's the other thing I appreciate about this country.
Okay, you once said that you like learning, traveling and stuff. Which some of the places you've been here in Zimbabwe?
In Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Well, the first time I came to Zimbabwe, I went to Kobulawa.
Kobulawa.
Yeah.
So Kobulawa, Harare.
Yeah, Vic Falls, I
Masvingo.
passed through Harare. The first time I came to Zimbabwe, I didn't like Harare.
Why?
I passed through, I felt like this is a big city, it's dirty, there are a lot of people, let me leave here now.
So, did you ever went to Masvingo?
Masvingo, yeah.
You won't be there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I love
interesting.
Masvingo.
Okay, maybe you might, since you travel a lot, what's some of the challenges you face here in Zimbabwe?
In Zimbabwe?
Yes.
I can say the main, I love Zimbabwe, and I love being in Zimbabwe. I get murungufied sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I get murungufied and it's a little unpleasant.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, sometimes people think that Murungu is not a human being.
Murungu Ndian.
Murungu Dian,
Murungu
yeah.
Ndian. Okay. Yeah. So maybe in the music industry, maybe you try to get in touch with big brands. What some of the challenges maybe in the music industry?
Well, I mean, besides the personal challenges that an artist faces with themselves, and I have those, you know, you have your own feelings, you have your fears, you have your being misunderstood or putting yourself out there in this way, or, you know, falling in love with this, but then it doesn't work. There are personal things, and then there are things like I see the challenge for a person like me, the challenge is that I'm multicultural.
Okay.
And being multicultural and being in a lot of places or being from a lot of places, it means that you are constantly working from the perspective of connection of a bigger picture. But we tend to think of artists as national products. So that's an issue for somebody like me because I am not a national product. I'm an international product just because that's how I grew up.
Okay.
I can't help it, and even more so now because of the life that I've lived and the experiences that I've had. And because of that, countries, they like to claim people, you know, and then when they claim you, then they can support you. So for example, you know, if I'm being claimed by Poland, which I think because of what happened with Nzara, that I felt claimed by Poland, and that was a good feeling.
Okay.
But before Nzara, let's say, you know, Poland says, well, we would like to claim her, but, you know, she does things in English, and she does things in Zimbabwe. How can we claim her? How can we claim her as a Polish product? You know?
Okay.
And the same thing you can say with Zimbabwe, they can say, well, you know, she does all these things, but she's not Zimbabwean, so we can't claim her. She's not a Zimbabwean product.
Oh.
And with the US, they'll say, but she's, we have no idea, you know, this is just craziness. She's not an American product, so what is she? So because of that, you really struggle. I've really struggled to find support because these days, people aren't just listening to music. They should. If they just listen to the music, maybe like what you said about the violin, they'll say, you know, she's a good violin player, she can do this, she can do that. But they'll say, you know, because of this very nationalist and narrow understanding of a human being, it's been very difficult for me to break through the way maybe I would like to. But then, you know, life is long.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. So what do you, well, maybe I can say in Zimbabwe, chicha unonyanya kufarira Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yes. Yeah, in Zimbabwe.
Like anything.
Yes,
Said.
anything you like about
Chikafu.
Zimbabwe. Chikafu.
Ndiri kutamba, I'm just kidding.
Okay, but
Music,
music.
culture, yeah, hunu,
Ubuntu.
yeah, those are the depth, Zamu,
In Zimbabwe.
yeah, in Zimbabwe, the depth of life and of people and how people come together, the humanity.
Yeah.
The humanity.
Okay, maybe someone would like to get in touch with you. What's your social media handles?
So on Facebook, I'm at Klara Ana Rosa or Mondoro Dreams, and you can also get in touch with me through the Nyamatsatsi Festival. But yeah, the best way is Facebook. I'm a little old school. I haven't really ventured into social media.
Okay.
What other ways do people get in touch with people these days?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. No,
Yes.
my YouTube channel. Yeah.
YouTube
YouTube channel. I'm under Klara Ana Rosa. We
Klara
also
Ana
have
Rosa.
all of the Nyamatsatsi videos are also on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I've seen one. Then Twitter.
Is that vital? Zvakakosha kuita Twitter mazuva ano.
Yeah, at some point.
At some point. Okay. If you say so, then ndichaita.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe, what's your last words to someone right now who's watching?
Thank you so much. And what can I say? Love life.
Love life.
Love life. Yeah. Enjoy it. It's over before we know it.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Klara, for being here. I really appreciate for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your show. I really hope that it does well and that it prospers, and for the courage that you showed, also the respect in this interview. And in the words of Dr. Ignatius Mabasa, wisdom does not always speak in English.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
you know, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.